He's the farty dog. Is that the musical guest?
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of people over here right now.
All right. Well, welcome all of them and everybody to the show.
I'm only going to point down so you can see that there's people.
I see a pair of legs and another pair of legs. I saw two sets of legs, so there's at least 3 humans present. And I think that's part of a dog. Oh, shoot. There it is again. Damn mute buttons.
Way to go there, Lewel.
Whatever. I don't care. I don't care at all.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care at all.
I don't care. And if anybody here cares, you just let me know. You just let me know how much you care.
Oh, I care.
Because I don't care about that either.
So we have a sort of unboxing later on tonight.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, sort of. It's already been.
Hey, Yul. Yeah. How's it going?
It's going well.
It's good to see you, buddy.
I thought I missed something.
No, I don't think you've missed much. Sharp as a tack.
Oh, I'm sharp as a tack. All right, yeah.
Every day, all the time.
All right, everything's set up.
All right, hold on. Let me take a look here at this thingy.
Hey, everybody.
The dark stalker. Well, it's because Fantinuum. It's because truth. Corey, how's it going? Who else is in here? Fantinuum and Corey. Bruja is being tattooed presently.
Right now?
Yeah.
And she's watching this at the same time?
She said she might not be able to be too much in the chat because of the tattooing. And I said we would miss her, but good luck and have fun. Well, I said nice and we'll miss you. But yeah, more dog, I think, is the demand right now. Is more
dog? All right.
More dog. Less human.
Let me just get this ready.
I don't know if Bruja, what is your tattoo?
Dali.
If you can.
Dali. Salvador Dali.
Dali.
I had a relative who had a Salvador Dali painting.
An actual?
It was a mess. An actual one, yeah.
Really?
It was messed up, and it was restored, but he had a Dali.
It's too bad that it was a mess, but hey, it's better than what I got.
Yeah.
Better than what I got.
That's right.
I don't particularly love Dali, though. Do you like him?
Sure. It's pretty neat. I mean, surreal, right?
Surrealism, sure. I like Magritte a lot as far as that stuff goes. Dali's cool. He was a weirdo, but that's all right. I don't mind.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, I hate when my artists that I really enjoy aren't messed up somehow.
Well, hold on.
Really?
They don't have to be, though. They could just be really interesting thinkers.
Artists that think? That's the two worst combination things to combine.
No.
Artists and thinking.
No.
Stop it. That's like, especially in comics, let me tell you. Stop thinking, artists.
Okay. All right. There is a gulf between those two sets of individuals or groups, as it were. Thinking man's comic artist.
Who would that be? Sienkiewicz, maybe? That guy's pretty...
I don't know.
He's pretty neat. Yeah, he's the guy that did Electric Assassin. And now all your favorite politicians. What? Never heard of it?
I'm kidding.
Oh, my gosh.
Exactly. Just draw. We don't pay you to think.
That's right.
Thank God, though, that... Thank whatever.
It's not true. Some of my favorite stories were written by the people that drew it also. But I respect...
What's his name? Jeff Lemire? Is his name Jeff Lemire?
Mm-hmm. He did a Sweet Tooth. That's a fantastic book.
Yeah.
Charles Schultz. There you go. Lots of people love those Peanuts books. I like the early years.
Sure. Schultz. He's from San Francisco, wasn't he?
At least the Bay Area.
I mean, what's the Bay Area?
I don't know. It stretches. Napa.
Nampa is not part of the Bay Area.
Nampa isn't?
No, it's Napa.
No, but not Napa is, I think.
No, Napa is not part of the Bay Area.
Oh, really?
No, when they say the Bay Area, they mean literally circling the bay, kind of like the Mediterranean.
I don't know. They stretch this all the way down to like Stockton.
Oh, well, in that case, it's Sacramento, too, is part of the Bay Area. No. Those are just people trying to sell their houses. We live in the Bay Area.
Well, if they made that freaking bullet train, it would have been.
They're not going to do it, dude. They're not. They canceled that. They canceled that a long time ago.
Very upsetting.
It's ding dongs, man. They don't care.
Gavin Newsom.
Oh yeah, Petaluma, definitely part of the Bay Area. Absolutely.
I have a friend who owns a store in Petaluma.
Petaluma's a nice town. Don't get me wrong, and it is on the Delta, but it is be hard pressed to call that a bay city. You know.
Tracy.
That bullet train was supposed to change the world out that way.
It's going to change the world everywhere.
No, man. It was going to mean that people could commute from out by Modesto and Stockton and get to San Francisco in like an hour and 15.
Yeah.
It would have been amazing.
You can't afford houses out here.
Yeah,
you can't afford to live out here. You expect me to have my minimum wage job.
I like Truckee.
I'm going to come on out here. It's like I need to be able to ride the bullet train. So I can live at a cheap-ass place.
You don't care about that. You just want to get on the bullet.
Nah, I just want more people to be able to come out to my store.
Yeah, I guess so, right?
Yeah. I mean, if driving 30 or 45 minutes to your local comic store or jumping on the bullet train and getting here in 35 minutes, I'm closer.
I guess so, yes.
I mean, I assume it'd be somehow BART accessible or something, you know.
I'm assuming there would be a link somewhere where you could get onto BART, yeah. I mean, it just kind of has to, right? It would have. But it's never going to happen. So just throw that dream away now and don't worry about it, you know.
All right, I'm putting my money back into teleportation then.
I think that might be a little further away even yet.
If we just for 3 straight years just pulled all our money into teleportation, do you think it'd get done?
No.
Why?
Because right now the thinking is that in order to actually teleport anything more than an atom, you need like as much energy as is in the universe.
I don't even know what that means.
It means literally what I just said. You need more energy than is contained in the universe to teleport a person.
So that's Galactus wouldn't be enough?
No. Well, I don't know what he eats for dinner, actually.
Well, he eats planets. We know that.
Well, then he might be able to pull it off if he had enough meals. But he's probably only going to be teleporting once in a while, you know?
Dark Phoenix she even had more power than Galactus.
I think we're getting into the realm of magic and not science.
Scientifically, it happened. She flew up and she burnt the hell out of these fools, these tree people.
Yeah, but you can't know both at the same time, Fantinuum. You can only know one at a time. Science.
We're going to be talking about Jonathan Hickman later.
Oh, you know who we should also talk about?
Who?
That guy. Oh man, I don't even want to say his name. No. Go
ahead. I want to hear.
There's a Twitter thing that you responded to that I went ahead and watched the video of.
Oh shit!
Which was amazing.
Oh, it was.
It was amazing. That guy tore Mr. Wade apart.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he did. He really did.
Maybe we'll talk about that.
That's up to you. Wade, that's up to you.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, so I was gonna, if we got together before the show, I was gonna say you should make a banner that said "Dromics."
I can do that right now. Dude,
I want to see that.
What did you want it to say?
Dromics, like I guess DRAMICS.
ICS.
Yeah, Dromics.
Okay, I got you.
Like drama and comics all at the same time.
Jill wants to add banner. Hold on.
I want to what? What?
She wants to apparate. She's talking about Harry Potter again. It's Jill. Of course, he's talking about Harry Potter.
My cousin is back from England, I do believe. She.
Oh, you mean your cousin went to Harry Potter?
She did. She was
Hogwarts. Huh? It's good school, I hear.
Letting all sorts of information about who she met over there on Facebook. So I'm sure that's like against some rules. But she seemed to have a good time.
What is it? The platform 9 3/4? Is it as magical as I've heard?
Don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you brought up Harry Potter.
You know what?
Well, actually, Jill did.
I have next door neighbor is on the other side of the computer, and he said and I do remember selling the buttons that said 9 3/4.
Yeah.
So I have that working knowledge of if I saw it, I would know. Yeah.
It's related to Harry Potter. Yeah. I don't think Dramix is clear. Like, I don't think that makes any sense, and I think people coming in and randomly would be hard pressed to understand that it's the drama comics or comic drama. Is that what you're going for?
Drama. How about comic drama? Well, yeah, but it's hardly funny.
Hold on, let's edit this. Neither's Dramix. Okay,
I don't know.
Dramix. Find some way to make it Mr. Mixelplix. Okay. And we'll do that because that would at least be relevant.
Yeah, I don't even know how to say it right, but
it's Mr. Mixelplix. And I don't even read comics, and I know that.
You're simplifying that name.
Am I? Saying it wrong. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm terribly sorry to whoever created that character. What a shame that somebody mispronounced that name.
Right now, Fantanium is telling you right now. You pronounced it wrong.
A Fantanium. Come on, man. You give it to us in phonetics, right?
Here, we're going to hear. Listen to this.
Hold on. It's coming.
Mix is Pitlick.
Mix is Picklick.
Sure, that's close.
Mix is Plick.
Now say it backwards.
Nope.
Mix spit piddly.
I think I don't know, man. I don't know.
Picklick. Piddly picklick.
Whatever. We're not doing this.
Piddly picklick.
We'll just get
Dramix.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, there's always drama in comic books. I mean,
which is the last place you really expect this nonsense.
Oh no. It totally is because
I got a guy on Instagram 2 or 3 days ago who being super, super passive aggressive. He's like, it's really good. What did he say? It was really good referencing the artist, the cover artist. And I'm like, I have never, I don't pay any attention to the cover artists ever. Like, that's not the point in my opinion, but it is to some people. And this guy was all butthurt that I didn't.
Well, you might be able to get that extra sale if someone knows Michael Whalen did it or not.
They already know. The people that care already know. Okay, well, I don't have to. I don't have to inform them. These people know what they're doing. They know what they're after, and they know what they're looking for. I don't really care. Okay,
Lewel doesn't want to cater to someone that's sniffing around about paperbacks. You either know that you want the paperbacks he's showing you, or you don't.
Let's be honest. What's the important part of the book? The book, not the cover. You don't judge a book by its cover, right? All these things. Like, we all know this. If there are people who collect covers, more power to them.
Well, they do. I mean, there's.
I know that they do.
The whole comic book industry is predicated on it right now.
Oh, and look how good that's doing.
Well, I mean, it's the only reason why it's doing
gangbusters business, huh?
And not. It's a it's a Hail Mary right now. But you do what you can until people get interested.
Right now, people
are starting to get interested.
I don't have to care though. All right, it's my channel. I can do with it as I want. If I want it to fail, I just do what I want. Right.
I agree.
And this guy comes out of left field, and he's like spitting vitriol because I didn't.
Was that what it really was? Vitriol?
No, it was passive aggressive behavior, but it amounts to the same thing.
on Instagram, even more so than Twitter.
No, I know.
Anything can sound that way.
I almost told him that this wasn't Twitter, but I decided, no,
that's on purpose.
No, I know it is, but we got to change the banner when that happens. Anyway, no, I will not bend, Jill. That's true. I went and I checked out his channel, and he has posts of some of the very same books that I have posted. And guess what? He didn't list the cover artists.
What a son of a bitch.
Just what is wrong with people that they, I mean, what is the matter with that guy? Anyway,
well, maybe he needs you to do it.
comment.
Maybe he needs you to do it so that you just deleted it.
I deleted his comment. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, someone else might have piled on, maybe that's something you
Why
should know
would I
about.
want to encourage more ding dongs on my Instagram?
It's only Instagram, dude.
No, I know that. That's why I deleted his comment. It's only Instagram. It's not like I'm trying to promote journalism or something. I don't have any integrity. I don't want people. Look, if you want to leave a comment on my bookstore, and it's something ridiculous like way to blah blah blah, and it's passive aggressive, and it's like not saying what he means. I mean, no.
Oh man, let me tell you, it's really hot here right now.
I'm sorry for you. I live in the desert.
Oh man, that's I like that. Very good, Lewel. I appreciate that.
If he that's his second time that he's said something nasty out of the blue. So if he does one more, I'm just going to ban him entirely. I don't need some guy from Portsmouth, wherever that is.
Wait a second. What did he say that was nasty? He was just asking for covers to be.
No, he was not just asking. It's all about how you present yourself, right?
Right.
If you want to be polite, that's fine. I'm into polite. If he had asked me, hey, who did the cover art? Or, hey, like a lot of us appreciate it when you name the cover artist. I would consider that, but I do not appreciate passive aggressive behavior at all. And like, are you not brave enough? Like, do you think it's funny? Why do you need to use passive aggressive behavior? Are you hiding behind the fact that you were offering criticism to somebody? Why are you passive aggressive for those people who are? Like, why?
I feel that,
it's not funny.
Sometimes I know when I'm being passive aggressive, but there are times when I don't realize I'm doing it either. It's something that comes out, and a person might not realize they're doing it, especially when they're posting on Instagram.
No, Fantinium. It was in my Instagram on my bookstore channel.
And yeah, some people do think it's funny,
but they're wrong. They're wrong. It's not funny. The only person to whom it is funny.
It's very funny. You're very funny.
No, you see, you're misinterpreting the entire situation because one, you don't know what the guy said.
Well, I guess
at all. Yeah. So you're laughing at the situation. You're not laughing at what the guy said.
Well,
what the guy said was not funny.
I could go and look at it.
I mean, it was like way to credit the cover artist is basically what he said, and then there were some like thumbs ups afterwards.
That's not funny. Yeah,
exactly. Right. It's not funny. And to anybody that's visiting my store, when they see that, like, what that doesn't help me. It doesn't hurt me necessarily, but it certainly doesn't help me. And I don't appreciate it. And it is my channel. And if he wants to do it, go ahead. He can do it himself. But guess what? If you had slide over the image, you know how there's multiple images, right? You just slide over to the other image. And you look at the back cover, it says very clearly on the back cover who the cover artist is. So,
well, you're very conscientious.
No, I didn't do it on purpose, but if he had just looked, he could have found out. And I know he knows because he has the same fucking books that I do.
Wow. Woo. So early in the broadcast.
I don't care. I also I don't think that passive aggressive is a good place to go. I just don't think so. I think that it's a coward's domain.
I just like writing notes. I can't help it.
Notes are bad. That's why I left California. Was a note. I'm not even kidding. My sister left me a note.
You wrote? Oh,
my sister left me a note instead of telling me to my face. So I moved.
Damn.
Why, dude? Life is really short. Okay, it's truly, truly short. Time is the most valuable thing that any of us have, and granted, we have a fair bit of it, and we almost all get a fairly decent portion of it. But life is too short to deal with that stuff, in my opinion.
I like, if I have a aggression, I just want to get it out.
Yeah, if it's good for you,
it's got to be that
well.
way. Yeah, so I'm gonna write a note.
Yeah, a note.
You know what? Usually, almost all the notes that I write are actually on a clipboard that have never been passed out.
Mm-hmm.
So they're written.
Well, that's fine. I mean, that might be some catharsis for you
later on. So that's what I do.
And that's the other thing. Like, well, whatever. I don't care anymore.
So go buy some paperbacks from Paperback.
Or don't. I don't care. But if you're looking for a cover artist, don't come to me.
I ain't gonna tell you. I ain't gonna tell you.
Go to someone else, because I don't care. I care about the book and the author.
Maybe when you're I got to talk to you about Instagram for a second.
Yeah.
So rip all your covers off your books before you sell them.
They're less valuable without the cover, Jeff. No. That's what you do to a book that you're throwing away.
Exactly. The cover is a huge part of the book.
But okay, so, I hope you're not arguing in favor of passive aggressive behavior, Jeff.
I am.
I don't know why.
No, I'm not. But I'm arguing in favor of knowing the cover.
Because me tearing the covers off would be passive aggressive too.
Yes, it would. I'm arguing in favor of saying the cover artist.
I think that's fine. That's fine. But Lewel and I talked about this stuff for a little while ago. It's considered work for hire, right? So all of the rights for reproduction and stuff like that belong to the publisher, not to the artist. So do we credit the publisher? Do I, every single time I list a book, do I say, this is a Tor book? Or this is a Subterranean Press book?
Only if they donate it to something.
Because I don't do that either. So
they're not a creative
on loan from the
They are, though. They decide what gets published. They decide what gets published. How are they not creative?
Well, these days it really doesn't matter who decides what gets published. You can just put it out there anyway. Fan fiction is just as viable as anything else. I mean, wouldn't it be awesome if like almost all the fan fiction writers were actually like out of work great writers? That's what Salinger was doing those last 10 years. He was shipping somebody.
Right. What did you want to talk about, Lewel?
What did I want to talk?
You said something about Instagram, and then you.
Well, this is maybe not for the show. I mean, maybe, if anybody wants to know, when you do your little hashtags, I was told don't always do the same ones all the time in the same, everything.
Okay.
Because Instagram will like screw around with the matrix.
I'm sure they have an algorithm.
That's the one.
That's fine. That's good to know. That's good to know. I'm wondering, like, is it true though?
I don't know, but hey, anything to make me work a little less is pretty good.
So you want to do more work?
Well, I only have to do half of it each time. Although I do hashtag John Byrne and Chris Claremont quite a bit.
Do you? Oh.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right. Here we are.
Here we are.
So, give me just a second.
Oh, okay.
Man, did you hear that?
Yeah, it sounded like something broke.
Not broke. All right, talk.
Everything's fine here.
No. Anyway.
We're all fine here now.
I'm glad everybody's okay. I use the same tags over and over again. And I only change them on my personal account, like when I'm doing stuff like, because that stuff is literally just for friends, right? I don't post to that account for anything other than the people I actually know. And those I change.
So I've got an unboxing.
Oh.
We had some CGC stuff go out. These are for customers. We do that for customers. It's not out of the kindness of our own hearts. We get a couple bucks out of it.
Worth every penny.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
What we usually do is that's what we send our comics in with, the couple bucks that we save. So this is from somebody who's been helping us out on Tuesdays, Max. And these were wedding gifts. Usually when someone finds out that you work in comic books, they want to try and tell you about their comic books or, oh, yeah. Oh, Richie Rich was my jam. Let me tell you. Oh, man. He had money and something for every adventure he went on, coincidentally, right at that time. He was better than Batman.
I didn't follow any of that, but okay.
That's the exhausted.
Richie Rich has money, right? He was just a rich kid.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
he always had money.
It's the greatest privilege.
Yes. With great privilege comes...
And thanks to Joe Biden, we know exactly what he looks like.
Okay, I don't get that either, but that's right.
There.
Who's
Rachel
Joe Biden?
would have got it. So anyway, this one guy at Max's wedding came up to him and was like talking comics and said, I have some old Mad magazines. I'll send them to you. Kind of like, a belated wedding gift or something.
Happy birthday.
People always say like I remember when I went to my brother's wedding up in Oregon and this one family member on the bride's side was telling me how this guy's a truck driver. I come in through California all the time. I swing right by Berkeley, whatever the place is. Oh yeah. Oh, it's right by. Oh, I could come and see you. That'd be great.
Yeah. Yes. Swing on by.
Don't do that.
Swing by.
Please don't ever do that. They're not married. Anyhow, this guy did send the Mad magazines.
Yeah.
And Max had them sent out to CGC them.
Uh-huh.
So, oh man, this one's a mess.
What, did he do it as a joke?
Max is weird, man. He just likes comic books. He has like first editions of some comic books, and the cover is a reproduction. So, like, he has the whole comic book.
Yeah.
It's just, a repro cover. So this is a 0.5. Remember that Action Comics that I had that was a 2.5?
Yeah.
And holes in it.
Yeah.
So
what's wrong with this
thing
one?
about that? This is a 0.5. But this is awesome. The pages are still off white to white. That's so hard.
Huh.
Oh, it's also an incomplete book. This one is missing. Back cover is missing. The front cover is detached.
Okay. And he sent it in.
And he's got like all sorts of like old books, and it's like, oh, this one doesn't have a page in it. It's missing the cover, but I still got it. I love that. I mean,
yeah.
These things I'll break out. I cannot touch these comic books. It's disgusting.
Funny. Who did the
cover?
cover?
Here we have another Mad magazine. It's 1.5.
Nice.
That's cool. Let me try and get that. It's got a girl on the. Oh yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Harvey Kurtzman. Yeah, it was comic book sized before it was magazine sized. Yeah, this has all the main people: Wally Wood, Bill Elder, John Severin, Harvey Kurtzman, all the main people that you'd want to see in a comic book.
How much does it cost?
What was that?
How much does it cost to send a book in?
It can be very expensive, but for the more recent books, with shipping and with insurance, it's probably going to be about $60 a book.
What is it, a sliding scale of the value or something?
Yeah, the more expensive it costs, the more it's going to cost you.
Okay.
So if you're like, oh, well, I've got this Spider-Man that Nick Spencer just wrote the other day. I'm going to take it and get it CGC'd. It costs, I don't know, let's say I didn't get the insurance. It costs about $30 or $40.
That's so funny. That's such
But I've got now, I have AF-15, the first ever Spider-Man. that might be like, $500 or something like that.
They'll charge that for it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, there's a rumor about, so my brother talked to this one guy, Reggie. He's on YouTube. He does a lot of stuff about speculation and grading and pressing and stuff like that. He's cool. He's been in our shop. He's bought some stuff here. He's a pretty good guy.
Nice.
He was talking about CGC, and I guess there's a certain amount that you pay. I don't know. It's so confusing, but we basically got a book in that didn't support the theory that we had floated. And I'm not sure if it was this guy, but I think that's who my brother was talking to. And he was just kind of suggesting that depending on how much you pay, you get a certain grade, kind of like a bump up. Now, I don't know what that means. Maybe what it really means is like
that sounds defamation.
No, I think what I'm really thinking. Well, don't say that then. Don't. Say that.
Shut up. Seriously, that's not a problem. Okay.
I shouldn't have said any names.
You didn't say any names.
Okay, good, very good. Anyway, this is a 2.5 mad. And I don't know what the deal is on CGC and what their thing. All right, between you and me, this whole thing's a racket.
I agree completely, 100%.
But if I was buying something over the internet and I didn't know who I was dealing with, and I didn't see the exact scans of everything, special, up close and everything like that, then CGC offers you a level of protection that you don't get the other way.
Nope.
But then there are other companies, and there's one called CBCS and another one called PGX, and that one gets really low marks by everybody. They're like, if you just want to throw money away, get a PGX.
You should start your own, man. Start your own. Okay, so I've heard from...
I do. It's in the store. You buy the comic. I graded it. Take it or leave it.
Exactly. Yeah, well, it's like the people that would come into Half Price and they'd be like, hey, what's this book worth? And we're like, the policy, if I recall correctly, is that you charge them $25 an hour for the privilege of telling them what their book is worth. And most people won't go for that because they just want you to use your expert knowledge for free, right? But I have heard stories from people about people getting a grade back on a CGC comic that they don't like, so they just bust it open and send it in again.
And sometimes they get a higher grade, sometimes they get a lower grade.
It's not done by a computer, it's done by people. So
it's going to, look, everybody has a certain amount of expectation that that they're allowed to grade on. They're like, oh, that spine roll isn't as bad as the spine roll I've seen. It's really bad. And I'm a little bit more forgiving on it. So, my grade might be a little bit less harsh. Whereas I can't stand bends, creases and things like that.
Yeah, sure.
And even though the grade says it's supposed to be better, I might, grade a little harder. Yeah.
I mean, consistency is really what you're going for when you're grading.
Yes.
Right? And if you can develop like a methodology that you use to grade books, and you do, it requires years though to develop that kind of trust with people that don't know you. They'll have to hear about it, that this guy's a good, his grade is accurate, kind of a thing, and nobody relies on it anymore. Everybody says, oh, it's near mint. Oh, it's very fine near mint.
Well,
very fine near mint.
Well, except here you have a number grade.
Yeah, I know, but do you know how they're using a point system? Big whoop, okay. But do you know how they use it? Do you know how they implement it? Do you know what is a point?
Well,
what is start from a 10?
Not one person doing every single book.
That's regardless.
It would take even longer than usual to get these in.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's why you want a methodology, which I'm sure they have.
Methodology is one thing, but again, even still, there's going to be certain biases that you are going to have as a grader that other people, you're going to see the one thing a little bit harder than the other people do.
That's kind of my point, though. is that you got to take the human out of the human, right? You have to take the human out of the greater. It should be done by a machine ultimately.
Well, no, yeah, but this is the thing. You go to a comic show, right?
I don't.
Well, I'm telling you, this is what a person.
Are you
would
telling
do.
me?
I'll
be right back.
All right, so you go to a comic show, and you hope there's a dealer there. You hope they have some comic books there, and you want to take a look at some of them. And maybe they have more than one copy of these comic books. So you're like, hey, let me check these out. So you check them out, and they're both very fine plus, or 7.0 or 7.5 or whatever the hell they're going to call it.
Oh, near mint, you mean?
And near mint is 9.0, 9.2.
It's subjective. Anyway.
Well, what I'm saying is this. So you are going to ask them to take these books out of the bags, and you're going to take a look at it.
Yeah.
And you're going to say, wow, you're calling this a very fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe they'll say, oh, yeah, well, it's kind of because of the spine roll here. And let's say you as a collector or a person that does, like me, doesn't really care as much about this. If the spine roll is messing up the book on the other end, then I have a problem with it. If it's just kind of like that little crease that goes and kind of bubbles it up, I'm not as big a deal. It's not as big a deal with me.
Yeah, okay.
Other people, like I said, Max, it could be a cover falling off. He doesn't care. He got a little bit cheaper,
Yeah.
It's awesome. But,
very poor minus.
And I don't want to smell crappy old comic books because, like, when I open them up and it's like, I can't read this thing. Yeah, it's not something I want to peruse. And it's not something that.
No, nor do you want that in your house. I mean,
exactly.
Get rid of it.
So, if I'm going to collect these old comics, I want to keep them all nice and fresh. And, anyhow, so you take a look at these comics. You might go to another vendor. Oh, they have the same comic. I'm going to take a look. Wow, this guy's charging a lot more, but his grade, it kind of sucks more than the guy over here, and so on and so forth. So the problem is you don't get to do that with CGC. It's a 6.5. It's an 8.2 or whatever,
Whatever they say.
It's usually 5.5. But when you get to 9, it's 9. It's 9.2. It's 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
Because they really want to squeeze those extra bucks out of you. And if something is 9.8, oh my goodness gracious,
that's pretty high. That's a pretty high mark, man.
Oh, a 9.8. I've seen a 9.8 come back, and I have a 9.4, and I'm like, I'd rather have my 9.4.
Why?
It just didn't look the same.
What?
It just didn't look the same.
You like the number 9.4 better than 9.8?
Well, I mean, it costs less,
Oh, there's an irony. You want to send them crappy books so they don't charge you any money for the grading?
No, I just don't want to. There's a certain grade I want, but I'm not going to pay like a gazillion dollars for it. And usually when you get it slabbed and it says 9.8, there's no wiggle room. It's like, oh, that's an extra $30, $40, $50, regardless of what the book is.
Hold on now, because you as the seller have ultimately the choice of what you sell it for, right?
Sure. Well, you
can choose. Yeah. You can put that wiggle room in on your end. You don't have to respect their numbering system and hold it rigid to a valuation.
Well, that's right. It's a price guide. It's a suggestion of what
it is. A suggestion. Yes.
If I have a customer that wants to sell something for $10,000 and it's a $20 comic, if I have space, I might hold it.
This stuff is a lot easier to think about in terms of back issues because you can sit on a back issue. You can sit on a back issue of a really nice comic for years and years and years. And it'll ultimately get sold maybe, but it might just be because some guy made a wrong turn, got lost in Berkeley, and he was looking for a restaurant and he's like, comic book store, holy smokes. And there he goes, That could be the deciding factor ultimately.
I had a guy come in on the weekend and he bought a whole bunch of 90s X-Men.
Really?
I was like, wow, all right, they're still out there.
Is that the stuff that you bought a month or two ago?
No, that stuff was older.
It was. Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice.
So my back is dying right now. Let me tell you. Sorry if Jill's in the room. I've been lifting a whole.
Jill do it?
I was lifting a whole bunch of boxes this last week because a customer is trying to sell his stuff.
At your age, always a bad idea.
It had to be done. But yeah, so that's the other thing. So like, sitting down's kind of hard right now.
Is it your sciatica?
No, it's nothing like that. It's just a little inflammation.
Okay. Oh, inflammation. Did you take anything for it? Advil? I mean, I see you're drinking alcohol. That's good for it.
So I haven't done anything else though. Just the alcohol.
Not good for it.
Beer. It's only beer. Give me a break. I'm drinking beer as a way to combat the heat more than I am to help with the pain.
That will work.
This beer isn't going to help with the pain. Yeah, self-made. Hey, no doctor's going to tell me what to do. I'm going to take care of myself.
Yes, very natural.
You got a noose?
A noose? Yeah.
Can you tie a noose? Can you teach me how to tie a noose?
I cannot, actually. I learned how to tie a noose once, but I have subsequently forgotten all of the knots besides the granny knot and the the half hitch.
I had my father tie a noose for my Batman action figure right about the time as the movie was coming out, and I kind of hung it at my windshield, my rear mirror. I mean,
yeah,
and that was my fuzzy dice.
That's your fuzzy dice. Is a hung Batman
noosed on a.
Did you hang him by his neck, or did you hang him by his feet, or what?
By his neck, of course.
Why, of course. Has anyone ever successfully hung Batman?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
really?
He never died, so I guess that's
obviously
not really successful. But I mean, if that was the end result, then that you were looking for, then no, that didn't happen. But if hanging him was something you were looking to do, I'm sure that's happened.
Okay. I remember Catwoman had a whip in the movie, but I don't remember if she ever got it around his neck. Michelle Pfeiffer? A whip.
Oh, yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer in the movie? With
yeah, she got licked alive by cats after being thrown from a building.
You can die from that?
Being thrown from a building?
No, being licked to death by cats.
No, she was licked alive. From death.
Oh, now that is a superpower.
I
wonder if the licks fixed her broken
movie.
Did it fix her broken bones? I mean, did she get healing, or was she just like?
I think it was a one-time thing. Like cats have lives and stuff like that.
9 of them, so the rumor says.
So the rumor is, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know a guy in Iowa who swears they've only got the one.
Very good. It's funny you should be talking about multiple lives.
Oh, what's going on?
No. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Are we on to the bestsellers?
Yeah, let's talk about the bestsellers. There were a few books that came out last week. I think you know what the bestseller was.
It was one of the X-Men titles, yeah?
Yes, we had House of X #2 come out, and wow, what an issue. It was quite amazing. We'll talk about it in just a moment.
Okay. So what else? What else was interesting that came out?
There was Batman 76, which continued that Bane storyline, City of Bane.
Mm-hmm.
Space Bandits came out. That's the Mark Miller book.
Right.
I enjoyed the first issue. And spoilers, I liked the second issue quite a bit too.
You did?
Oh yeah, it's really good.
All right, we'll get there. We'll get there. I have a band.
And then what else? Oh yeah, Absolute Carnage. It's right in front of me.
Right.
That was it's a big mini series event that's going on right now. Just about a year or so ago, C.B. Cebulski, the editor at Marvel, the guy who runs everything, whatever he is, he said they weren't going to do as many events all the time. Did we talk about this? It feels like I say this every week. Something to this event, to this
You mentioned it, but it wasn't last week. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
We have War of the Realms, and it gets over. And during that time, we had all that other stuff. And then we have there was the X-Men miniseries that was going on during that time, the Age of X-Man. And then those get over, and now we have House of X and Power of 10. And now we have now we have Absolute Carnage, and it's just it's a lot. It's a lot. Even if you only get those few things, it's a lot.
They've learned their lessons from marketing, man. They obviously it works for them better than the old way, or they would have not changed, or they would have gone back, right? So unfortunately, you're living in the now, the future, whatever. Sorry.
Yes, Continuum. We will be talking about House of X and Power of 10. I will not spoil everything, so you can still hang out. I'm going to just try and get you excited with it. If
tickle your fancy,
I'm going to tickle it. I'm going to go over the first 3 books though, just a little bit. It's
you
not
mean
like
Powers? Also,
so it was House of X1.
Yes.
Powers
of X1. Yes, we know how it goes.
House of X2. This week coming out tomorrow will be Powers of 10-2.
Oh,
and then next week it's
going to be
Powers of 10-3.
What? You're blowing my mind with how this is going to go back and forth like that.
So the bestseller this week was House of X. We once again did not have enough issues to put out on the shelf and scrambled to get everybody fulfilled. And I'm not sure if that's totally happening. And then this issue is coming out, and then by the next issue, everything will be great. We have reorders coming. We're going to have House of X and Power of 10 for days. And I can't wait to just get everybody on board, because we are ordering a lot of them.
But is it good?
Fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Well, I mean, this whole aspect of, people being excited, people coming in to buy X-Men comics. The Mutant Menace Cody came in, and we had a good long conversation. And it's just exciting as X-Men fans to see people excited about something we're excited about. And it hasn't been that way for a long time. When Disney first bought Marvel, they pretty much put the kibosh on giving a crap about any X-Men characters. And while they're at it, we don't really give a crap about Fantastic Four either. And ultimately, the Fantastic Four books were canceled. We got a Thing book with 2-in-1. But, that was a nice little book, but it wasn't what, Fantastic Four fans wanted. And the X-Men fans were given a whole bunch of other books. They were okay at times, but overall they were forgettable. So here we are. Now it's not forgettable. Now things are going on right now where it's exciting. And we're going to get an X-Men series.
Yeah.
And, coming back after this. And there's Hickman's the best. One of the best.
Okay, so Hickman's the best. Fine. Everybody's excited. Fine. The story's really good. Excellent. So what lessons would you like Marvel to learn from this period, this time, this publication? What do you want them to take away? Because I have some ideas what I would want them to take away, but you probably have a deeper understanding than I do.
I think they should pay attention to what their fans really want.
Mm-hmm.
And try not to. It's not time to be predicting.
What do you mean?
It's time to be you don't
trying to guess what they want.
Well, if times are good, that's when Vince McMahon goes and does an XFL. I got lots of money and I don't know what to do with it.
Yes.
Screw the wrestlers that are making me money.
I do what I want.
Let's not put more money into that. I'm going to buy a football league. And Marvel is the same way. All right. We're in a situation where it's kind of important that you don't lose viewers Don't lose readers. We want more people. Let's get exciting people on this book. Let's make people start caring. Even this Absolute Carnage, I was just bitching about the fact that there's another series going on. Donny Cates is the second stud over at Marvel. I think he's replaced Jason Aaron, and Jason Aaron's kind of like on the downturn just a bit now that War of the Realms has ended and this Thor run is just about ended. I'm getting pointed to about his last Thor series, which is going to be Old Man Thor.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Future Thor.
Yeah. No, that's funny.
I mean, it's good because, at the very beginning, we got that from the God Butcher storyline. Also, I think Asad Ribic is doing the art, and that's great.
He is.
We'll be talking about him in just a little bit also.
Oh, goody. They're not still doing that Versus book, are they?
No, this is much better.
Okay. Because, while it looked nice, it was dull.
I didn't find it dull, actually. I thought it was pretty 1 or 2 note at best.
I play video games. I don't need a comic book that's a video game.
It's a little bit more you're retiring veteran from a football team.
Mm-hmm.
This is like his last year or two. And as people are aging out of an industry, they usually get that bump from the fan base where they just love them so much. Tom Brady's 42 years old. I hate the guy. But, in his last year, I might give him a little bit of extra kudos, Yeah, you're right. I won't do that. But, it's like that. It's like, we'll give that old man his due. But I was a kid, I was like, get that old man out of here. But that's what Versus was about. It was about an old guy who's like still kicking butt, still can get his stuff done. But it would have made a better movie just because it would have moved more.
Maybe it will. Maybe it still can.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. Ivan Brandon wrote that one, and it was again Asad Ribic doing the art.
He was lucky to get Mr. Asad Ribic.
Well,
is that how you say his name then?
I don't know. That's how we've been saying it recently. It's 2 C's, so I think that's what we're going for.
It is?
Oh, it's 1 C? Oh,
yeah. Shit. And he's not Italian, is he?
I don't know then. It does have an accent. Very good.
Where's he from?
Czech.
Oh, he's Czech?
Oh. Then it's figurable. Yeah. All right. I'll figure it out over the
you do that.
next week or so.
Do you want me to change cameras so we can start talking about some comic books?
Are we talking about comic books in this show?
Well, we could get a little bit more philosophical if you want.
That's where my mind will go naturally.
Well, I want to... So, Jonathan Hickman... Man, there's a lot of drama in comics the last couple days. Jonathan Hickman got a little bit of it. Would you like to hear?
Sure.
You don't have to.
You're not on screen. I'm hearing an echo, and you're asking me questions that I don't understand.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you hear an echo when I'm not on screen.
No, I hear it all the time. Remember?
Oh, that's right. Sorry about this.
I don't care. What are you doing, though? You moving the camera?
I'm setting up the camera, yeah.
What we need to do is ask these... Who are these people? StreamYard. We need to ask StreamYard for a little more customization.
Yeah. Ooh. Who knows? That might go along with money.
Hold on. I gotta back up.
Oh, that's pretty good.
There we go.
How's that?
Better.
It's a little bit of a glare, but
no, I can see it fine.
All right, I gotta admit,
the band.
I didn't read all this book.
Must have been good, huh?
It was it was great actually. Really good art too. Ryan Stegman's excellent. I got to admit, I am not the biggest Venom fan. I'm also not the biggest Carnage fan because, Carnage is just a red version of Venom.
What?
I know. How dare I say that? I know. So I am a Spider-Man fan though. And oh damn, there it went. Sorry guys.
I looked down for 2 seconds and Carnage took over, right?
Yeah, that's what happened.
Stop looking at me.
This is a really crappy tripod, but you know, you do what you can.
Yeah, you do, man. You do what you do. There we go.
All right. So like I said, really good artwork. Let me see if I can get a pic. Ooh, the Bleeding King. So there's a bunch of chapters in here.
Yeah.
In the very beginning, we are given a pretty good rundown of what's going on. Basically, Carnage is this symbiote that came from this other planet. And there's this one god. I don't remember what the character's name is. It really doesn't matter. Noel is the name of the character. And Noel is the god of the symbiotes. And he is imprisoned on this planet that is encircled by all these symbiotes that look like venom. And that's why the planet isn't black. It's black only because the symbiotes circle it.
Oh, that must
kind of cool
there's,
stuff.
There's at least 2 of them then, right?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a ton of them. Anyway, this is Eddie Brock. He's the first guy to have Venom's suit after Peter Parker did.
Mm-hmm.
He's the first Venom. He's the badass that everybody remembers. And he's walking with this kid who secretly is his son.
Wait, who doesn't know? Like, who is it a secret to?
To the kid. He thinks he's related. He just doesn't know that it's by birth.
Daddy?
Yeah. So yeah, there's just this is great. The train's coming. Look at Venom just blocking the train. So Spider-Man gets involved. I got about halfway through. Like I said last week, this is a super meaty book. I mean,
yeah.
I read some other comic books. I didn't get through all this one, but I liked what I read. Also, we sold out. So there you go.
Which do you like more?
I wish I would have got 5 more copies. Oh, I did. They'll be in about a week or so. I really enjoy reading a comic book that sells well, that I like.
Yes.
I mean, I've liked so many comics that don't do well in the store. I just like Black Badge. Nothing was better than Black Badge.
Yeah, no, I
mean,
understand.
Black Badge should sell like absolute carnage.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it. You can't make it happen. Space Bandits is another book that should be selling really, really well. It sold well, but second issue blues.
Uh-huh.
So we followed in the first issue 2 women that were effed over royally by their significant partners. We had a person that got her gang together and they robbed a bunch of people and they were going to retire and they basically shot her and left her for dead to get captured. And then we had another woman who was with her boyfriend and they would do little heists and he would come and rescue her after she got imprisoned and, you know, collect the ransom money or whatever money. And,
right. What do you call that?
Yeah,
playing both sides?
Playing both sides. So yeah, she was like wanted, so he'd collect the reward.
Yeah.
And then he'd bust her out, and then they go do it again. And then she was like,
it's his turn to be wanted?
No, it's all the time. Always her. So like she's like, oh, wouldn't it be great if we just like retired and go live on an island? And he was like, yeah, that would be great right after this last mission. And then he left her to get captured.
Oh,
and so these 2 broads are stuck in jail, space jail. And one of them really, really wants to beat the hell out of people. She finds out that if she goes into the arena and wins, then she gets out. And then she is the leader of the group that got, that screwed her over. And she wants to, get her to escape. And there's a really good moment. They have this little lizard guy. She does right here. And she has to give the lizard guy up. And the lizard is like psionically talks to her. So it's kind of sad. Anyway, the fight doesn't go well for the one person. And then she's like, all right, I'm down. What do you want to do? So in the time that she convalesces, she gets told the plan, and they try to enact it. And it's a pretty good book. I liked it. Good second issue.
Nice.
All right. Here we are, House of X. Oops, sorry. House of X right here.
Wait a minute.
All right.
That cover. I've seen that cover before.
Yeah, we saw that cover. It was the poster. It's the very, very first issue that started this whole mess.
Okay.
And we're going to just talk about it for a few seconds. I'm not going to get too in depth. So, anybody that hasn't read it, don't worry. No spoilers. But what this book is, very good. So some people are into it, it looks like in chat. So in this issue, we are given the future of mutants, basically. And the future of mutants is now. And here we have who we can only assume is Professor X awakening his X-Men after they escape from these pods. I don't know what that means. It could be clones. It could be rejuvenation, reincarnation. I don't know. But it doesn't matter, because from that we find out that the island Krakoa, which is a mutant island, has been flowering these flowers that the X-Men are taking to different spots on the Earth and off of Earth, and they're planting them. And what those plants do is they open up portals, like a Stargate, if you will, but so that you could go to the island Krakoa. And that's only open to mutants and humans that come with mutants, if they're allowed to come onto the island, and or through the portal. And these people are representatives of other countries, and they're being told that if they agree that Krakoa is its own nation, that they would be given these wonderful drugs that they can take. And here's like the chart of the drugs, and they have an effect for humans and an effect for mutants also. But the important thing,
same drug.
The same drug, it sounds like. Yes, yeah. It affects differently. But the important thing is that humanity, which is not looking good. We found out that there's only like 20 years for us. That only because of certain things that happened in the past, we got an extra 20 years.
Okay, like a reprieve for being dumb or something.
Well,
20 years to clean up our act. What?
Well, there were events that occurred. There was this thing called House of M, which only left 187 mutants, 89 mutants with powers. And, it took a long time before there was another mutant birth.
Right.
A lot of times mutants don't become mutants until they're through puberty. So it was a big deal that there was like a mutant birth and all that other stuff. So there's been a delay, but the clock's ticking again, and mutants are going to take over. They're Homo superior. They always have been. Fall in line or else.
Yeah, no kidding.
And that's what this whole book's been about right here. This is what this whole issue is about.
Right.
And there's really cool moments where Mystique is stealing something with Sabretooth and Toad, and they get captured, and Cyclops has to come, and so he wants to get Sabretooth out, and it's just sweet, super sweet. Anyway, that's issue 1. Issue 2, we've talked about it. Oh yeah, okay. So our next door neighbor wants to remind you that Reed Richards is in this book. And the reason why is because he feels that ever since Jonathan Hickman started working on books for Marvel, the entirety of his work has been a Reed Richards story. So there you go. Powers of X #1 tells 4 different stories.
In one book?
In one book.
Holy smokes.
Well, what it is it's basically defining the different time periods. It's powers of 10, and each time period is divisible by 10, is what I think is how it works. So we have year 1, which is, the first year. And then time. So that's where we are now, right here in time. Oh, I'm sorry. No. Oh, that's the past. No, it says.
Was it 10 years ago? What was
10
it?
years later is now. This is us now.
Yeah, so 10
We
years
saw
ago,
it say
now.
X-Men. Sorry, I get a little confused sometimes. And then we go 100 years in the future.
Yep.
And that's the war.
Okay.
And then here we have 1,000 years in the future, and that's ascension.
Yep.
And we're going to get bits and pieces from all of this. But basically, in the very beginning, we have Charles Xavier talking to who we can only assume is Moira McTaggart. And she's seeing what he's doing and sitting down and how he's happy, and she has this really nice little conversation about all the stuff that she's seeing, and she offers him the ability to, or the chance to read her mind. And when he reads her mind, he sees something that's so important we can't talk about until next issue.
Hey, Yule. Last time, I think it was you talking about this episode, you said that panel, you suggested that panel was important. And you were kind of dismissive of the idea, but because you hadn't read the book yet. Now, have you changed your mind?
Well, you don't get it in this issue. When you read House of X #2,
yeah,
is really where it starts clicking a little bit about what's going on.
Does it make you go back to that page and think that the page is brilliant?
I see.
Or are you just marveling at the connection between two books?
This was being a little flippant, saying that was the most important moment in X-Men history.
That's how I remember it. Yes.
As far as what I've read so far, it's a game changer.
That
this
panel
scene right here is a game changer. I agree.
Okay.
But only with what we get coming in the next issue.
I mean, I asked because that page to me doesn't look in any way spectacular.
It's not spectacular.
Okay.
But see, in between here and here, we're gonna see what he sees in the next issue.
I would hope so. Yeah, eventually.
That is super awesome.
Okay.
So Fantinuum, you're gonna hear a little bit about it. He hasn't read it yet. He's been super busy. So here we have year 10. This is now. And we have Mystique coming back from her thieving operation. She has this thumb drive. Magneto wants to get it from her. She stole it from Reed Richards. And Professor X, who we can only assume is Professor X, gets the thumb drive. How does this happen? Maybe Magneto. Maybe Magneto's facilitating that. I don't know. Anyhow, they have some little quippy conversation about who's in control and what people need to do to fall in line. And then here we are 100 years later, and we're starting to see the war. Yeah. And I love this because, as usual, Sentinels are involved. And it's just super cool looking. We're going to go 1,000 years in the future and see a weird version of Nimrod. This is just a great, great book. All right, so here we go. So that's Nimrod right there. All right, and that's going to lead right into House of X, which I read last week.
All right.
House of X #2. This was the alternate ladies cover. We've got Danny Moonstar and Mystique and all sorts of other people. Yeah. Lockheed.
What's that Glaire's name?
What was that?
Nothing.
What's that Glaire's name? It's Prism. You didn't know Prism? So here's the third issue. So this is going to be all about the life of Moira McTaggart. There's no action in this series, or in this story, I mean. There's a little bit. So what is going to happen in here is we're going to find out that there's something very special about Moira McTaggart. And she has a bunch of different lives that are led. I'm not going to tell you everything about every single one. But when she lives her second life, she remembers everything that happened beforehand. And that is going to be what was going on in this issue when they have the most important moment, in history.
Yes. The aha moment. Gotcha.
So there's a lot of really good stuff that goes on in this issue right here. I can't tell you too much more other than that. There was a little bit of drama, like I told you about this book.
All right, let's do it. Let's talk.
There was, I can't even remember what it's called now. It's the 15 lives of something. What is it? Oh, you said don't do it?
Don't do what?
I heard that one. Wait, she walked it back? Oh, yeah, I know she walked it back, but I thought it was kind of like worthwhile to, well, all right, maybe I won't talk. He got kind of a little blasted on. He was put on blast because his story sort of felt a little bit similar to something that he had admitted that he read in the past. Okay. But I guess that was the whole walk back. There was a whole walk back on that. So
I mean, who's walking back what?
The author who felt a little plagiarized.
Infringed.
Yeah, I think infringed is a better word, maybe. But I mean, seriously, multiple lives and different diverging.
Very unique, yes.
It's very
unique.
I mean, you didn't, Borges.
Yeah.
You can go a little literal.
But he's from South America, so he doesn't count. Right?
Oh, okay, very good.
That's how that works.
We could just say like like Groundhog Day, because that's how I looked at it.
Sure.
But it's more than that. And I have not read the issue that comes out tomorrow.
Have you read the material by the person who felt infringed?
No, I have not.
Is it a case of this person is actually established and famous, or is this a case of somebody who is desperate for attention?
I don't think best-selling book.
Okay.
Of course,
best-selling. I mean, who's bestseller though? Mm-hmm. Was it a New York Times bestseller? Was it on the list for one day? I can't hear what he's saying.
He's saying as a bookseller, I'm telling you.
Okay, so it is a popular book. Yeah. Okay. Has he read it?
Yeah, he wrote it. He read it, I mean. Yeah.
Okay, so he read it. What does he think?
Oh, wait, you read it? Oh, no, this guy did not read it, no.
Okay, well, I'd be interested to know, based on, like somebody who has read it, somebody who's read both. Tell me. I'm curious, right?
I mean, I've only read one issue of this so far.
Are there parallels, or is it like pretty similar?
Yeah, I don't know. Too soon to tell, but from what I understand, Jonathan Hickman responded via social media, and it was very eloquent, very gracious. He didn't say, you effing blah, 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 how dare you say this or anything like that. Did you hear
about the guy from the New York Times that just got demoted because he can't handle himself on social media?
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
He was the head of the opinions department or something, and he just got demoted.
The head of the opinion department had one.
I'm not positive. I was reading the article before we started the show. It's pretty. I mean, it's strange because he's not a young guy. He's a middle-aged dude, and he's.
I'm gonna respond to Sequential Geek. I rather enjoyed the fact that Hickman is not too afraid to just have another Sentinel.
Can you put Hickman back up on the screen? Since we're talking about Hickman still?
Oh, sure. I like Sentinels. Oh yeah, put that one up. So that's the one that's coming out tomorrow.
Nice.
So yeah, I don't know. There's some tropes in X-Men that when they are revisited and done in such a way so that it's not just like, oh, it's just a tin machine that's like chasing after them. I don't know. It's kind of cool. Not only that, it's just an image about, the stuff that was going on, in the future.
It's about AI, man-machine interface. It's very future looking.
Yeah.
Is there any chance you can talk him into coming a little closer to the mic?
No,
I can't hear him, man. So it's.
I'll bring my microphone.
Yeah, he said next week.
Okay.
We'll see.
Nice.
We'll see.
Nice.
All right, so let's talk about some comics that are coming out tomorrow.
Let's change the banner.
All right.
Hold on. What are we doing tomorrow?
So tomorrow's comics, NCBD,
Yeah, that one.
or you could go hashtag NCBD.
I'm just gonna leave it as I have it right now. Is that good enough for now?
Yeah, it's
I mean,
fine.
I can make another one later, but I mean, the thrill has worn off. Let's talk about Gideon Falls.
All right, Gideon Falls. So wow,
I bet.
stop me if you heard this one before. I don't know what's going on.
You like Jeff Lemire?
There's like crazy. Oh yeah, and Jeff Lemire. You know, excuse me, gotta wipe my lips. So Jeff Lemire is a really good writer. I like him a lot. He does some excellent series. Black Hammer is really great. Sweet Tooth is excellent book that he finished up for Vertigo years ago. And Gideon Falls is his new horror book. And like I said in the past, it has a sort of similarity to Twin Peaks. He's a self-admitted big fan of the program. And
enthusiast.
He's definitely. Well, he's participated on like podcasts.
Yeah,
he did.
Was he a contributor to Wrapped in Plastic by any chance?
He did the art on it. Yeah,
nice.
Oh, not Wrapped in Plastic, the Blue Rose.
Oh, okay. Oh.
So Gideon Falls, we're following this crazy guy that's going around town trying to pick up pieces of what we find out are the Black Barn. And what he's trying to do is build it so that he can bring it back into existence. And the reason why he's doing that is he's had a experience in it down in like a cellar. I don't know. It's crazy stuff. Anyway, there's this like smiling, creepy face that's overtaking people, and people are ending up dead and disappearing. And that's where we get to the other main character. There's this priest, and he's going into town. He's going to take over for the missing guy that he's replacing. And there's a whole bunch of time travel things going on, different lives, all led by the same person. I mean, this is like, I don't know, maybe like House of X. Anyway, that's pretty weird, huh? Anyway, I don't know what's going to be going on in this issue, but we've been seeing our Reverend living different lives in this town. I shouldn't say different lives. Again, he's experiencing. He is a reverend in the past.
Okay.
And with the same name, he's a reverend later on. And then the same name they all were dealing with this. Anyway, it's crazy.
Okay.
Buy this book.
I don't understand a thing. Really great.
And it's got really good artwork. Andrea Sorrentino
Agreed.
does really cool, creepy stuff. There's that face I was telling you about. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to give you some nightmares.
Looks a little bit like Howard the Duck from here.
Oh, stop it.
It does. It's got kind of a beakish appearance.
All right, I'll give you there. Yeah, beaks can be scary. It's like a plague mask.
Dude, if it was, I would be afraid of any giant bird. I don't care what you say.
All right, here's Conan, everybody. The Barbarian. Just what we need, another Conan book. But this is the one we need, exactly. This is written and drawn by Asad Ribic.
Oh.
So it's just going to be a nice, pretty Conan book. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of words. This is going to be one of those comics you get because you want to read the artwork.
Well, I mean, he is that good.
This is wonderful. He doesn't usually do panel layouts so intricately. So this is actually going to be a story that's being told, and it's so beautiful. There's another cover that you could get that's done by Nick Bradshaw. That one's excellent also, but I think I'm going to get this one.
Out of curiosity, did anybody write that book?
Yeah, he did. Asad Ribic.
Okay.
It's just no words. Now, you got to admit, like for an artist, if you're not going to give him any words, hopefully it's the artist that's doing it.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what I was getting at. I was wondering if somebody.
So
more artists who were writing would be confident enough to go no words.
there you go.
What happened?
He said he wished artists these days that wrote comics would feel more confident to not write words
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
to
yeah.
not write as many words. And
Well,
I
certainly
agree.
not to rely on them, right?
Well, and not
there's a
only
whole
that-
art to storytelling and sequential storytelling where, I mean, vaudeville actors, silent era, they relied on what they were showing, not what they were saying.
When I tried to break into comics through that Blue Comet Press down in Long Beach, the guy who owned the place was telling me new writers always try and throw way too many words in, and he's all
Too much
cut it
dialogue
down.
or just
Cut it
words in
down.
general?
Period, just words.
Okay.
You want to prove you're more than more than what's on the page, and you just want to put it all out there. He's like, cut it back. New writers
I don't want to read this.
always write too much. Stop reading. You see a new writer and they write too much.
Too many words. Well, that's the whole TLDR thing, right?
Yeah, well. Jeff Lemire again, everybody.
Surprise.
We have Black Hammer and Justice League. This is a mini-series involving two groups I read about.
Hammer of Justice.
There's a bunch of different covers, so Fantinuum is going to be spending some extra money because he gets all the DC comics.
Yeah.
And he gets all the DC covers.
Yeah.
The first issue was getting the two worlds together. It was cool. There's a Starro infestation. And there's some really nice artwork. I am looking forward to this, but it's one of those that isn't necessarily canon for both universes, or at least I haven't seen that that's the case. So if you haven't been reading it or these two titles, then you probably, you should check it out. I still have number one, and I liked it. We sold out and had to get more back in, so I thought it was a good first issue.
Okay.
So there you go.
Hey, there's a question from Sequential Geek. If you don't mind going backwards a little bit.
No, not at all. So to me though,
are you answering his question or?
No, I'm asking you. It doesn't
What?
look like it's to me though necessarily.
It's Steph. Oh, touche. Touche.
I'll answer for Bruja. Let me see here. So you did Conan. What's up with it? What grabs you? Oh well, she totally digs big burly dudes knocking dudes' heads off with swords.
Headlopper.
The headlopper. So and as far as Bella, yes, she has been purchasing it. but Bruja's getting tattooed, so she can't.
No, it's done.
It's done.
Fiend.
Sorry.
No, David, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm sorry.
All right, very good.
Oops.
So Black Hammer, Justice League, yay.
Good.
Ooh, Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
The first issue of this storyline, I told you, it just needed the thinnest of premises so that you could get Hulk fighting Thing, and that's what most people that want to read Fantastic Four, they want to see that. And fight they do.
Fight.
It's at a resort where, and that's a good thing. I like that thing right there. That's the thing about drawing the Fantastic Four. How does your thing look? That is awesome looking. I love. So that's his vibranium, titanium, adamantium ring. That's this size and won't shrink when he turns into human.
Yes,
it's on the wrong finger. Oh, good job.
It is on the wrong finger. Maybe it doesn't fit his ring finger. Or maybe he's from a culture that doesn't care.
Dude, well, he's Jewish.
I can't speak to that. I don't know.
Dude, this is symbolic of Marvel right here.
They don't know what finger the ring is on?
Of course not. They have a whole bunch of single frickers that... Anyway. So they're fighting. The reason why they're fighting is because the Puppet Master is in the head of the Hulk. I really enjoyed the artwork in the first issue, and I'm looking forward to seeing this one because it's a fight between the Hulk and the Thing.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway, that's cool. All right. For those of you that enjoyed A War of the Realms so much, and you really enjoyed seeing Punisher killing elves with guns. I mean, he had guns, and because their bullets of lead or steel affects dark elves like really negatively. That's what this is all about. He's going to go and still wipe them out. Jerry Dugan's writing it. He usually writes a pretty good story. Juan Ferreira is the artist. Pretty good looking. So if you're a fan of the Punisher, I'm not. I've read some good Punisher stories in my lifetime. I like the Chuck Dixon ones, some of the Garth Ennis ones. He did Welcome Back Frank when it was a little bit more tongue-in-cheek, and that was hilarious. When he did Punisher as a series following that, it was too much. And then he did Punisher Max, and that was excellent. Probably every other storyline. Definitely the Barracuda story is one of my favorite Punishers of all time. Barracuda was an exciting character and super funny, and I just really enjoyed. I could that if they did a Punisher movie based on the Barracuda storyline, I don't know if Hollywood could handle it. It would be so cool. He did do a Barracuda Max. This is a fantasy book called White Trees. It has Chip Zdarsky, who is an artist writing.
I like
and
saying his
Chris
name.
Anka is the artist. I am actually quite a big Chris Anka fan. His stuff often reminds me of, like, right in this. It has a certain Paul Smith feel in here. And Paul Smith is one of my favorite X-Men artists that ever worked on the book. I have all of his issues, some of them signed.
Mm.
And Chris Anka, who has signed in our store, I like him. Like in here, that's a very, if that was a little bit more indented in, it would be like totally a Paul Smith drawing. I'm not an artist, so I'm probably not right. But it reminds me so much of it that he's the only guy that's really doing anything like that. Anyway, this is a 2-issue miniseries, so wonderfully it's going to be over right as you're getting into it.
Yes, it's perfect.
So you don't
right?
have to invest a lot, and these are really good creators. Chip Zdarsky has done a lot of mainstream work for Marvel. He's done Sex Criminals as the artist, and you should check this one out.
Who's publishing it?
Image, the number 3 company.
I heard that was Dark Horse.
No, it's not. It used to be. Anyway, the last comic book to show you is Batman Universe. This is Brian Michael Bendis, and Ian Darrington is the artist, and good art. I'm looking forward to reading this issue. I'm going to continue reading it mostly because of the illustrations. It's easy, and it doesn't feel like it's Bendis where you have to pay attention to him. So this is actually not so bad. And it's Batman. And again, I'm not the biggest Batman fan, but this is somebody that he was meant to work on. And it's got Green Arrow and all sorts of other heroes. So there you go.
Does Green Arrow have good vision?
I think he does, yeah.
Okay. I've always been confused by the white eyes.
The white
They're part of the mask.
Yeah, they're part of the mask. If you notice that
I bought a pair of sunglasses once.
Yeah.
That had white plastic around the rims, and it was wide rimmed or whatever. And then they were blinding. They reflect the light right into your eyes. They did the exact opposite of
These two guys are billionaires.
good sunglasses.
Yeah, these guys are really
I guess
expensive.
those are just mirror shades, right? They perfectly reflect all light.
Yeah. So, excuse me. I have some graphic novels to show you.
Uh-huh.
I've got Mary Curie, A Life
Yeah.
of Discovery. Are you a fan of Mary Curie?
Sure.
I don't know much about her. Didn't she?
She
Wasn't
studied
she-
radiation.
was a radiation.
Groundbreaking work on radiation.
This is nice. This is a Euro book. It's got that feel at least. But we do really well in our store when it comes to like history stuff.
I'm glad to hear that, actually.
And we should spotlight some important creator or scientists, right?
Well, yes.
Let's support STEM, right?
Not in this country. That's for other countries who want to become superpowers.
What do you think about adding arts into that?
What do you
Make
mean?
it STEAM.
I don't.
Have you ever heard of that?
I didn't. No.
Nope. I have not heard of that.
Don't know what you're talking about, actually.
It's okay. Let's see. Can you see the dog?
No. Where's the dog? Oh, your dog. I was looking on the cover. No, I don't see a dog in her laboratory.
That's a good picture. I like that. All right, good. All right, so Mary Curie.
Yeah.
All right. Ooh, now this is amazing. This is great. So this is the epic line of comic books for Marvel. This is number 17. This is the years 1989 to 1990. This is the X-Men by Chris Claremont with Mark Silvestri on art, and we get the first issues of Jim Lee. We also get the first appearance of Gambit in this one. There's all sorts of really good stuff in it. If you're an X-Men fan, this is definitely a book that you should be getting if you haven't already. It's got Forge right on the cover. Exactly. How can you not want to get that?
Who?
Forge. He's our Native American mutant, man. He builds things. Well, he didn't die, so yeah, he's a good one.
He didn't die, so therefore he's good. Is that what you said?
I'm making fun of Thunderbird. Thunderbird not only had a live brother, but he also had a son that named Thunderbird, I think. Anyway, I might be wrong about that. I need the Mutant Menace in here to correct me.
Oh, guest appearance.
So War of the Realms came out. We've talked about that at length.
Yeah.
Jason Aaron's Magnus Opus, the end, the culmination of his Thor run, basically, right? Well, and for the most part. Think so? You think that other one? The Old Man Thor is not going to be the culmination of anything.
Old man.
So it wasn't. All right, King Thor. Sorry. We got this guy yelling at me. This next door neighbor, just yelling at me.
That's because you.
Handle it.
Whatever.
So we have the Amazing Spider-Man Hunted. This was not a main series event that was going on. It was just a little mini event that was going on during that time. I liked it a lot. Nick Spencer's been doing an excellent job on Amazing Spider-Man. I poo-pooed him for quite a while because it's so popular and no one's going to hate you if you do it. But I actually like Nick Spencer. His Captain America only suffered from being too long, I felt.
Too many words.
Was 3 issues longer than it needed to be and had way too many crossovers that nobody cared about. But, the Sam Wilson that Nick Spencer did, I really enjoyed those. And I liked his Captain America, Hail Hydra. So his Spider-Man's been good. It's had excellent artwork. Gerardo Sandoval, all right. The elephant in the room concerning Amazing Spider-Man is the fact that I'm not a Ryan Ottley fan when it comes to his drawing Spider-Man. He just is kind of plain Jane, and it doesn't do anything exciting for me. But there have been other artists that worked on the book, and his stories aren't bad. They're just more like a Spider-Man side story, maybe an annual, maybe a mini series. Yeah, he should have been maybe doing the one that's based off the video game or something like that. As far as the Amazing Spider-Man, it's not amazing when he's drawing it, but they are good stories. And then there's the other fill-in artists that do a really good job, like Humberto Ramos, who only ever seems to be doing his best work when he's on Spider-Man.
Wow.
There you go.
Maybe he only likes Spider-Man.
Well, I think it's definitely one of his characters that he's most into, without a doubt. And I just put it to artist being lazy. Well, drawing eyes. Okay, very good. Oh, this is sad. This is so sad. Sideways couldn't do well enough to stick around. I like this character.
You did?
Yeah, I got every issue. So the thing about DC's New Age of Heroes, and this is pretty much one of the last times I'll be talking about it, is that each character that they came out of it was loosely came out of Metal, the miniseries.
Yeah.
There were all these new characters that they created that were kind of filling the void of Marvel's characters that weren't around anymore, like a good Spider-Man or like a Fantastic Four, because Marvel still didn't have a Fantastic Four when the Terrifics came out. Right. And, maybe Punisher isn't really doing that great for you. We've got Silencer. She's a woman. She's kicking butt. I won't say kick ass because they've got that over at Image. And so on and so forth. Sideways had, for the most part, had Kenneth Rocafort on all the issues, which was something that most New Age of Hero books did not have. Their regular artists sticking around for it. There was an annual in this book that's going to have ramifications of New 52 storylines, including the Superman character. He was the one that wore jeans. It's kind of weird and kind of throwing things in, but Grant Morrison wrote it, so or at least he was involved in it. I like Sideways though. He was an adopted child who, his mom got murdered. So sad.
All for like 6 issues, and then
she died like on the 6th or 7th issue, and then yeah. But I like the family dynamic. It was really loving. I thought they were doing that to try and maybe save the title, kill the mom, save the title.
Do you remember the movie 7? Yule?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why was Gwyneth Paltrow in that movie?
To die.
To die.
Oh.
To die.
That's too bad.
That's the only reason.
That's so sad.
You're supposed to like the pretty white girl. She's supposed to earn your sympathy for.
Had she opened her mouth by that time?
She did. She was really like sweet and demure.
Yeah.
And
I saw her on the red carpet of the Academy Awards, but I was flipping through the channels and was on the Spanish channel.
And she speaks Spanish.
And she was totally talking great. It was pretty impressive. I was like, all right, way to go, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Way to be bilingual.
Way to be bilingual.
Yeah, no, she's all right.
Now she hawks weird stuff.
Yes, she does. Gloop, I think.
Gloop. Goop.
Something like that, yeah.
Goop.
Sam Harris actually talks about her, too. It's
kind
of funny. Yeah.
Sam Harris talk, watch out.
Well, what about? I mean,
I'm just joking.
There's nothing worse.
Logical thinker speaking out loud.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything crazy.
Well,
are we going back
to
to
upsetting sometimes?
Are we? That's fine, man. Let them be upset. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm putting the camera back.
It's better for people to be upset than for us to not have people like him around.
All right, sounds good. Hey, everybody, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
We got to figure out something with hold on, it's no longer New Comic Book Day. What are we talking about now?
This is the what's the opposite of the preamble?
Mukbang time?
No Eugene.
No Eugene. So there wouldn't be a Eugene sighting. No, so it might be getting close to that.
Oh, they're talking to each other. Good.
Who? Forbidden.
Let's see here. Let me read a couple comments. I think DC consistently did. Oh, White Eyes again.
That went on for a little longer than I thought it would.
All right, so here's Diablo hashtag. New Age of Heroes might have sold better if they they really threw those out really quick. There was too much too soon. I mean, if they were mimicking Marvel characters, then they were pretty much mimicking the way Marvel throws things out also.
Sorry.
And you know what? Just like Marvel, they ended things on the 9th issue and stuff like that.
Why did they release him so fast? Is there an actual a benefit? Like, is there any? I mean,
well, all right. So Metal was really hot,
and
really,
it came out. It came out every week.
No, Metal had delays, but if they could spin something off, even loosely connected with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the only reason why Sideways had powers was because him and his mom were in Gotham when this earthquake hit. That was when the whole Batman Who Laughs was introduced. And, you know, you didn't see them in that issue where that happened. You know, this is just like, oh, by the way, there were 30 people in the area and one of them got some superpowers. Well, why didn't his mom? You know, whatever. But I liked
She's old.
He was an ethnic character, and I didn't think they really played that up too much. It was kind of cool. He had, like I said, he had loss. He was definitely the Spider-Man character.
Right.
He had, you know, the relationship with the parent, or you know, someone who's taking a caretaker that is gone. And he also had friends that were helping him, and you know, be a superhero and whatnot. So
yeah,
book, I liked it.
So why didn't it sell?
Nobody cared.
Why?
I don't know. They tried to push the characters. They even put them on a poster with all the, you know, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern.
Oh, okay. So yes, like popularity by association. Sure.
Well, I mean,
that doesn't work.
Hey, it doesn't work all the time, but it does work.
It may generate a little bit of interest, but unless the character can stand on its own, it's not going to matter, right?
Well, that's true, but you know, the concept at Marvel in the old days was every third issue you have whatever the comic book is, you put Spider-Man in it.
Oh, naturally, yeah.
So,
it's just an advertisement, like, no big deal.
Make sure you have Wolverine in it, you know, or whatever. Yeah. You know, whoever's hot. I mean, Captain Marvel ain't the way to go. Let's just tell you that. That ain't the way. But I don't even know if any superheroes are really so hot that you could do something like that anymore. Maybe
isn't it just kind of a cheap tactic though, when really what they should be doing is concentrating on really good writers and really good artists? And
even really good. All right, so even my greatest book that I sell here, Saga, has a decrease from 1 to 2.
Yeah, naturally.
It levels off, and then you realize the numbers are what they are, and they continue to go that way. But they don't usually raise, and more often than not, they drop. Even I said this before, Hickman, stick with this. If you like it at all, stick with it to the end. Don't. I know there's a lot of books that are going to be pumped out at some time. Right. I know. Just buy them, read them. It's your one comic book. Take it to the toilet with you. Read your Hickman comic book and enjoy it. And the thing is that you're going to want all those issues as the end is coming. And it's going to be 3 to 5 years down the line. But that is so special when you've been reading the whole time. You come in the comic store, you say, oh my God, I read this part. Can you believe it? And we're going to have more and more people coming in at the same time. They're going to be talking about this X-Men comic book.
Right.
It's going to be awesome.
Well, that's Hickman's responsibility. If Hickman can sustain that interest over that amount of time, excellent.
Well, what I'm saying is that even the Avengers, it happened where people dropped the title.
Of course.
You know, they just couldn't handle it. I have all these other comics, you know. That was the one they shouldn't have, because they all came back around the end of Secret Wars. And I started jacking up the price of the last issues of Avengers. So if you don't want to pay extra later on, you got to get it at the time.
No, that's true. You definitely do.
No, I don't get much Theft Diablo. My brother suggests that we maybe get like 2% loss, maybe even less.
And that's from Lewel.
What was that?
I said, and that's from Lewel.
Yeah, that's for me. Yeah, exactly.
Stealing from himself.
Ooh, man, that's a great looking book. No, and I try not to do that either. Even if a great collection comes in, it's important that the customers. It's more important for me to have it in my pocket or my collection than it's more important for me to let customers get it in their collection. I need them to come back, and if we don't have stuff in the store, it does me no good. But as far as theft, it's like one book gets missing,
and that could be from somebody being really nice and putting it back in the really wrong spot.
I found a comic book in between two trades on the bookshelf the other day.
Of course you did.
Oh yeah,
of course you did. How old was it? How many weeks
it was
old?
Old enough to where I was like, this isn't even any good anymore.
Yeah. Ages and ages.
So that's theft in a way. But we don't really get too much stuff taken. I don't have a lot of blind spots in the store, so we're able to watch people, and I don't do a lot of sitting. I do more sitting for this thing than I do during the day. So
get a lane hawk.
Watching people, and even though we have a big store, again, I've kept everything so that we can usually see something unless somebody's squatting, and we don't let people sit. So that's how we combat it.
No sitting.
Plus, I'm the crazy guy that'll punch you, so I'll bleed on you.
It is a reasonable fear, I think. It's reasonable.
It's reasonable.
Yeah, you openly display your anger. So
at all the wrong times.
Is there really a wrong? I mean, is there a wrong time?
I'm just a little volcano that's going to explode.
Exactly.
But I got nothing too bad inside.
All bark, no bite.
Yeah, for the most part. Well, the thing about crazy people or people that want to fight, you have to make your decisions sometimes up front if you're going to. And if you're not going to, then you better have a total different approach. Sometimes you're like, oh, that person is so filthy, I don't even want them to touch me. So I get
yes.
I get a broom and I'm like, get out of here. Get out of here.
Speaking up Berkeley, right?
They're small, I'm gonna take them I'm gonna get them by their belt and their back of their coat, and I'm gonna throw them out like I'm I can't say it. Hurling, dwarf hurling. I'll say that.
Yes. Oh, hey, I looked up a word. I looked up the word mannequin because I from memory couldn't spell it right.
Oh yeah, sure.
The first definition for mannequin is the description of a little person.
A mannequin?
Yeah.
Is a little person.
Yeah, a proportionally correct small person. That was the first definition that came up. And then it was like a posable articulated doll was the second definition.
Okay.
I didn't know that. Like I had no idea. Never would have guessed. I've never heard it used. Where'd he go?
Where did I go?
Where?
I'm sorry.
Oh, he's back. There he is. There he is.
Click the button I shouldn't have clicked.
Yeah. Well, it's 10:49, Yule. What do you think?
I think we should call it.
I think we should probably call it as well. So, Bruja, Sequential, Fantinuum. Who else is in here right now?
I think that might be it. Diablo Hatchcraft.
Diablo's still here. I think, was Mike in here earlier?
He may have been, but I didn't see.
Corey might have bowed out. I haven't seen her in a little while. But nevertheless, all of you guys, thanks for showing up. Thanks for participating in chat and asking questions and the like of Yule.
Goodbye, Jill.
Oh, Jill's in here. Bye,
She
Jill.
is.
Bye, Jill. All right. Well, let's say goodbye, Yule.
Goodbye, Yule.
Goodbye,
All right. Take care, everybody. Broadcast over.
Oh my God, my butt.